In our streaming-obsessed world, do you miss DVD commentary tracks? Well, fear not. Von Fry here, the most scorned critic on YouTube, to provide the commentary tracks for the films that we love and love to hate. Tonight we got a real treat for you. It is Gladiator from 2000, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, and I'm sure some other people. But before we get into it, I want to give a quick mention to my buddies over at calderalab.com, makers of the finest skincare. It'll have you looking better than the Spaniard. Yeah, in the sun. He definitely could have used something like this, couldn't he? Especially Oliver Reed's Proximo. I mean, this guy looked really rough in the film. Use my promo code FRY15, save 15% at checkout. Okay, so we are about to watch Gladiator on Paramount Plus. I've got my popcorn with me. I've got a IBC root beer. Let's get that ASMR going right here. Let's do this. Let's do this. And that went flying all across the room. Awesome. Great tasting root beer. We've got the black screen on Paramount Plus. Cue up to 0000 and hit play now. Oh, sorry. On Paramount Plus, it's just 000, but... yeah, we tinkered with the logos. We got to make it all gold. I love gold. His Austin Powers Faja. How does that guy, the gold member, talk? DreamWorks. Man, I used to see that. It used to be like you saw a DreamWorks show up and you're like, okay, we're about to watch something pretty good. Like early 2000s. They were really at the top of things. You saw that. I think DreamWorks, I'm trying to remember what all here. Of course, we got Gladiator. I think it was at the beginning of Shrek. There were some other things out there too. Always hated that Universal Pictures childlike planet. They had a better one earlier, but this is a movie I caught in theaters several weeks into its run with my folks. At the height of its power, the Roman Empire was vast, stretching from the deserts of Africa to the borders of northern England. Over 1/4 of the world's population lived and died under the rule of the Caesars. In the winter of 180 AD, Emperor Marcus Aurelius' 12-year campaign against the barbarian tribes of the Germania was drawing to an end. Just one final stronghold stands in the way of Roman victory and the promise of peace throughout the empire. Look, this is a movie that I liked. We saw this in an empty theater in Wichita, Kansas, oddly enough. But I'll tell you, it is overrated. And I think people know Gladiator is overrated. That's why they don't really talk about it a whole lot anymore. There doesn't seem to be this reverence for Russell Crowe, really. Did he deserve a Best Actor for pantomiming Braveheart, really? Because frankly, Braveheart walks all over this. This movie has issues. I'll point it out. Try to point out mostly not the things that you're reading in Wikipedia or IMDb's trivia. You can do that on your own time. Try to point out the problems I have with it from a structure perspective and maybe a historical issue here, like their campaign's drawing to an end. Come on. The Romans do not defeat the Germans. The Romans go north into Germany and walk away with their tail between their legs, if they walk away at all. The fall of the Roman Empire is because you encroach into Germania, as listed here. Stylistically, this movie did a few things ahead of its time. Well, it was ahead of the curve. Curb or curve? I think it's curve. Has a catchy score. This is right at the end of the Oscar bait being that which we can have a big battle. Like, look, if we can get enough people in armor together, we can get, like, Oscars. I guess the last movie to really pull that off would be Return of the King. All right, so this guy's the general. Look at the respect. How many of these guys look Roman? My German grandma was not pleased by this, and she's a bit of a moviegoer. historical issue. I think there are other inaccuracies. I think the story is actually pretty weak. And despite being 2.5 hours, I think that we're missing an act. Like, this would be a better 3-hour movie. We'll get to that in a sec. Hi, I'm not John Malkovich. By the way, I watched Being John Malkovich the other day. It was okay. I mean, I'd say it's good, but not great. Kill the messenger. I'm going to try to reduce that clinking sound there from my root beer going back in the holster. I've taken a lot of German. The weird thing is, I know German better not in German anymore. Like, when you're in school and you have to know it, I can't figure out. But I can hear passively German places and understand what they're saying. Can't really say it back, but... There is a good chance that the Germans would not fight head-to-head like this. Like, this would probably be more of a, for lack of a better term, barbaric ambush type skirmish, not this orderly phalanx stuff. We have one dog and it just follows you around. Like, I feel like this could have been done better if there was some build up to it. Like, do we even... So we have the opening text that sets this up, but it's an irrelevant battle. Whether or not the Germans are defeated here has no relevance in the plot of the film. And there's Dumbledore. Oh, I forgot the actor's name. Both he and the guy who trains the Gladiator, I think, died right around the time this movie's release. I think... I'm pretty sure... Well, Dumbledore is a few years later, because was he in the second Harry Potter, maybe? Oh, man, I gotta look the guy's name up. I think he died before they could finish this. And he has a, stoic-sounding name. I'll look this up here. What do we get out of Gladiator that persists? We got Unleash Hell. Like, that's the... On my signal, Unleash Hell. It's kind of like the line that sticks with you from this film. Ha ha ha, I tell a good joke before the battle. Oliver Reed. Yeah, Richard Harris survives for a little further here. Dies 2002. Oliver Reed, I think, dies before this film is done, and they had to use CGI trickery to try to keep him in the movie. This might be the first film to do that. I don't know how extensive the use of CGI could have been in, say, The Crow. It would have been fairly easy to body double, stunt double your way through a lot of that movie. Ridley Scott, he used to be pretty consistent across genres. Now he's gotten to be very hit or miss post this film. I think he felt really miffed, and I know he was quoted saying something, I'm paraphrasing here, that how could I have directed the best picture if I'm not the best actor, the best director. Of course, I'm paraphrasing if I flub the line up. $2,000. You still have to organize a lot of extras. You have to get boots on the ground, get the horsies outdoors. This looks better than a lot of modern, I say modern film. It's a movie in 2000. I'm not calling it modern. Come on. Okay, maybe I shouldn't use the term modern. I should say recent crap. Yeah, I'm sorry, MCU. That's what the kids say. We really only have one side of the story being told here. Oh, man, we got our phalanx formation. Look, oh, we're so smart. Look at us. But we just have like one big German, and that's the only guy we know of. We don't know anything about them other than the Romans are invading their territory, but we're aligned with the Romans because we don't spend enough time seeing the plight of what's happened to the Germans here. This movie was, I think, the first to do this trick where it adjusted the frame rate and it makes the action look unique and extra frantic, and it got to be a trend for several years. And you can see some of that right here as I'm talking. So it's sort of a slow motion. It's a variation on the slow motion. I say it's the first movie to do that, but you see it sparingly when Tom Hanks is shell-shocked in Saving Private Ryan. Oh, you're on the ground with a sword. You're not going to last long. You ain't going to be getting up. All that armor, heavy as hell. You're one of us. I'll spare you. Big German with the axe. One of the most impractical weapons you could be bringing into war. Of course, it'd be cornier if Gladiator here, Marcus Aurelius. That was his name, right? But hold on. What? Marcus Aurelius. Why am I forgetting? Is it Maximus? Shoot, it'll come up. I believe that Will Ferrell named a son after the character of this film. Now you see how we're playing with the motion here, and it looks a bit like the toy camera effect from about 15 years ago. Almost stop motion. Man, how many different frame rates have we bounced between already in this film? Of course, so that we can identify our heroes, those most important shall not be wearing a helmet into battle, because they may play a role in the film later. At the time they were shooting this, I think it started to snow, and then they ended up using some fake snow. I think there is CGI snow even. Or after post-production snow. I'm going to look it up. What's his name? Maximus? Like, it was almost a kind of borderline hard to take serious name. Yeah, Maximus, and there's Commodus. Lucilia. I don't think we've really... Connie Nielsen. I don't think her name is said much in the film, if ever. So it's a reintroductory for a lot of people to Joaquin Phoenix. He gave a pretty good performance. And we also get a creepy incestual relationship angle going. Now, throughout watching this, I really questioned the legitimacy of how Roman is much of this movie. Like, of course, the dialogue isn't. And then you have to wonder if some people are trying with an accent, some aren't. They say that Maximus is actually a Spaniard. They call him the Spaniard. Does he look Spanish? Does he sound Spanish? Not even close. Yep, I was looking for that sword. Not so sure a sword stuck in a tree should be making a metal on metal sound, but that's swords in movies. Not my idea. Here's the Emperor. Kind of coloring in the character here of the dad. You're Rome's greatest general. Oh, not particularly subtle anything in this film. I think it was quite the shock that this got Oscars, that it won Best Picture, won Best Actor. I believe it essentially shared the honor of highest grossing film of the year with Mission Impossible 2. What? He gets all the glory? I don't like this. Of course you've missed the battle. You're a coward and you avoided the conflict. Hey, we got 100 bulls we can sacrifice in your honor. They say they're old friends. I would have felt this could have been stronger if, unfortunately, if we followed more of the Braveheart formula, we could have seen their interaction as kids. We could have possibly seen a gladiator winning his freedom, the Oliver Reed character, winning his freedom. And then that could have worked as a callback for later in the film, instead of this guy just randomly becoming a gladiator. In fact, and I hate to say this, a Gladiator streaming series might actually have a better story. In fact, how have we not had a Gladiator streaming series yet? Oh, sure, we talk about a Gladiator 2. But we wouldn't have any of the central figures. At best, you would have Djimon Hounsou return, and that's it. Say the Max, formerly HBO Max, or just HBO, has Gladiator the series. Man alive, they'd eat well. Oh, here we go talking about being a republic. Oh, but we like having an emperor. I mean, I do want to be the next emperor, so forget it. Would the girls even be gathered in the same tent as all these soldiers? Or even adjacent? Count on me when the time comes, huh? No, it's your father. And then I'm going to return home. Yeah, but I want to be a farmer. I want to. You see how I was walking around with that wheat in my hand at the beginning? That's what I want to do. I would have liked to have seen how these two could have had a relationship for so long. He's not really in the royal circle. He's a general. He's from Spain. Evidently, used to have some relationship with the sister. If you're watching this for the first time, you've got to know this guy's getting killed probably by his son. Like, it's such a foregone conclusion. Guy's even talking like he's about to die. I've raised a good daughter. I've been a good father. Whatever. I don't think we really see what comes of the dog, do we? We don't have Trey keep an eye on that. And one of the most remarkable things about fighting at this time. Here's our CGI snow, by the way. Oh, yeah, look, we go through the motions here. We try to show that this guy Commodus can actually fight too. I'm going to have a quick scene here. Look how many people he can engage in a fight, yeah. He'll have to do some fighting later. Let me just drop some popcorn and let it roll down my carpet. Oh, man, I bet you Donald Trump loved this movie. All the gold. Gladiator was one of the first DVDs I got. I got this DVD for Christmas in 2000. At the time, Gladiator, a popular DVD to have, really. People kind of look forward to that stuff. Multi-disc. Oh, I'm only going to get if it's multiple disc. If it's 2 disc, yeah, I'll get it. Bonus features. I remember seeing the HBO behind the scenes, like making of the movie type thing. I don't believe they do anymore. It was great when they had to go on location. Here's how we did this. Let's talk to the crew. Now it's everybody go to this space in Georgia and stand in a green screen studio and Director sits in a comfortable chair. Since so many of those movies are made the same way now, it's not worth looking at. So this emperor wants to return things back to being a republic, but doesn't, because his son doesn't like that plan. Yeah, he's pouring on the "I'm dying very soon." He's even foreseeing the fall of the Roman Empire. See this nonsense about, okay, you have a son? Yeah, I do. We never meet him. We never see the interaction. Oh, now we're going to talk about his house. Oh, goody. Only mentioning it so that we can have it quasi destroyed, his wife, son killed in 10 seconds of B-roll. Not even a proper scene. You will feel for the characters if you have a relationship with them. We never met them. I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but these are real serious issues with the story. I don't think Roger Ebert was particularly high on this, and I think his guest co-host that at the time, this was, I think, before Richard Roper became a mainstay. Whoever the guest was said this was one of the best movies she ever saw. I remember that. I don't remember who said it. And Roger Ebert about fell out of his chair like, really? And lo and behold, a lot of other people started picking up that torch. And you come Oscar time, and I don't think it's had that stiff a competition. What? You don't want to be the next emperor who kind of turns the thing over? And that's too bad. You'd be a great senator. Look, I just want to go to the farm, damn it, in Spain. Be real with you, I don't remember all this dragging on this long. I mean, I thought Richard Harris died within 15 minutes of the film. This is a movie that used to play around on basic cable. I think the last time I viewed this might have been on like TNT. Oh, it looks good in high definition here on Paramount. First time seeing it in HD. What, you're calling me your son? Isn't this going to make somebody else jealous? Oh man, he does not want to stay around her long. Like, if I keep talking to her, things are going to lead somewhere. And gold also made its fashion statement briefly, early 2000s, with the red carpet. There goes the Oscars. You got to wear your gold. It's a takeover by the Gladiator. How many people does he have to tell, I just want to go home and be a farmer? Are you a farmer? Well, here's a couple of acres. And there will be an Arnold Schwarzenegger connection later in the movie. Yep, her husband died, so she's available. Let's sprinkle that on the audience. If only your wife wasn't alive also, then maybe you two could be a thing. Her son here, he's played by this guy, what is his name? Middle name Treat or something. He was in Unbreakable and then kind of disappeared. And there's actually, in one of my screenwriting classes, this guy came by and he was set to direct a movie that featured him and some other people, and I think it something fell through. It was like this, not this boy, but Connie Nielsen's son, and I'm forgetting his name. Josh from the Transformers. Josh Duhamel. Yeah. The number of movies that don't get made, guys. This guy Cicero. Have I seen him in anything else? Spencer Treat Clark. This guy Tommy Flanagan looks familiar. All right, now we're about to make an homage to Blade Runner. I guess it's not, anything to be too critical of if you are the director of that movie as well. But if it's so blatant, hey, here's some things you remember. Look at the lighting. The lighting in this scene is very Blade Runner-esque. And then we also have, I'm sure you could put these two together. Roy Batty smashing the skull of Dr. Terrell. Very similar scene to this. Very similar lines. I think the pacing, you don't get to be emperor. It's going to be a republic again. You should have known this was going to happen if you told this scumbag. Are we like 30 minutes in and Richard Harris is still alive? Like, in many ways, we haven't really gotten to the inciting incident here, where the synopsis of the film really starts. So there's this Roman general. He has to become a gladiator, and he fights the evil son of the emperor who took over. Haven't gotten there. Why are you kneeling, old man? This is a bad look. Hell, have at least one servant on hand. I would think this is, for most of the mainstream audience, this is their introduction or reintroduction of Joaquin Phoenix here. May or may not recall him from Space Camp. Oh, come on, give me a hug. Here we go. Roy Batty crushing the skull of Dr. Tyrell. Oh no, I can't breathe. Stop. Is this an effective way to kill a guy in his 70s? Mythbusters, did you ever get to this? That statue is essentially a stand-in for the owl. The Emperor needs me. It's urgent. Something's fishy about this. Our great father is dead, you say. If only there's such a thing as an autopsy, a mortician, anything. Surgeons say there is no pain. Was there such a thing as a surgeon, really? In days where this might have even been in the time where they thought bloodletting was a solution, it certainly was for George Washington. Why not, over 1,000 years earlier, be misconstrued? You have to bow to me now. It's like, hold on, I know he didn't want this. He told me. This seems like a death sentence right here, man. Disobeying the new emperor. De facto acting emperor right here. She knows something's amiss. I believe Connie is taller than Joaquin Phoenix. I might have had to get creative here with an apple box. It's weird how busy she was for a few years, but then after this movie, you didn't see her around a whole lot. Then I think she kind of props up for Wonder Woman. Slain, you say? All right, so just his guy Cicero here, Cicero is on his side. Family will meet you in the afterlife. Here we go. His family dies. This doesn't take 10 seconds. We've already sent orders to kill your family because you disobeyed us. Now, in reality, all those soldiers are aligned with the general. Screw the emperor so much. They're sort of on the general's payroll. He would not be taken out to be executed like this. Oh, they're going to fall for the old give me a sword bit, huh? Or, okay, a soldier's death. Is it going to be stabbed in the back of the neck? You see other things where it's like, let me die with a sword in my hand, like Vikings. I think you got the guy jumps into the pit full of dogs there. Well, look, your sword. I was counting on your sword being stuck in the sheath in the cold. Yeah. Now I got to get to Spain real quick. Of course, now these are the Emperor's men, though. They're wearing the purple. I just don't think that the, thousands of soldiers would have stood by and let this happen. All right, why 2 horses? I can't remember. Is it like one of them gets too tired, you switch? Yeah, I should think that he would really struggle to get to his house. Like, I mean, okay. How fast can the word get out to kill his family? Maybe he can beat that. But you can't do it in one day. All right, we're down to 1 horse. So did we eat one of the horse? Like, did we eat the white horse? But we just don't want to show that. Like, he also dropped all the armor. You guys are under orders to what? Burn down his farm, kill his family. Like, they're not going to question this because new emperor said so. But I mean, I imagine they got there sooner some way or another, right? But you don't really have telephones, radios, carrier pigeons, anything. It could have been a dead heat between the two of them. And I mean, the guy said your family meets you in the afterlife. We don't know for sure that the word had been put out at the same time. Take out his family and him. I just think there's a logistics issue here. A lot of, among other things. Well, you rode the horse to the ground. Yeah, the servants need to die too, of course, for reasons. Right? Because, I mean, why not? Spare the chickens. Never got to see him with his wife and kid. Shit, don't know their names. How sad could this really be? I mean, you'd get more emotion out of this if you liked these characters, wouldn't you? Like, that's the whole purpose. You only have value in killing off characters that people have a connection to. I don't think we ever get to see these bodies. It's just feet hanging. It's definitely into the feet. There'll be more Maximus feet obsession in this film. All right, so he buried him. Men speaking other language. We just found this guy. We're going to capture him. He looks kind of healthy. Here we go with this afterlife-esque montage here. It's visually interesting. Now, what ID do you have to say who you say you are in this time? I mean, all these gladiators could be like, oh, I'm a general, actually. So you better stop, knock this off. I'm not a slave, I'm a general. Now, are we to assume here that they took him quite south? Got a lion. That is such a huge gash. I don't think that these bugs are going to be enough. Oh, yeah, the bugs that eat the dead flesh. It'll clean it. Yeah, okay, whatever. Try it. You try it first. Roman province, Zucabar. I'm assuming that's quite south. I'm assuming. We covered a great amount of distance. Well, here's Oliver Reed, who I believe died before this was finished. I shall look. Got him by the balls this time. All right, Oliver Reed. When'd you die? 1999, 1999, 1999, yeah. Djimon Hounsou gets steady work, I'll tell you. He doesn't look too different today. I mean, you can assume he's a deserter. Who's to say otherwise? I gotta have badass slaves for my gladiator school. Oliver Reed, I haven't seen a lot of movies with him, but he was in The Brood. Watched that when it was part of Criterion Collection on Hulu. I think it's on the Max. Kind of interesting body horror type thing. May give it a look if you want. Training is rough here. Lots of fatalities in the training. Now, all these other slaves are kind of like, I would have preferred to work those salt mines in Carthage. You have this one giant dude who I erroneously thought died shortly after this movie, still kicking. What's his name? Like Ralf? Ralf Möller. I believe he's German. Bam. Screw this wooden sword shit. I mean, you can kind of tell looking at Russell Crowe, he looks like a pretty tough hombre, doesn't he? I think at this point, audiences probably best know him for... Oh, Christ. What was that, 97? Kim Basinger won the Oscar Best Supporting Actress. Oh, God. Now I got to look it up. I'm going to feel stupid for not knowing it. Also had Guy Pearce. A lot of Aussie connection there. Though it's weird. It seems like there's a conflict of who claims Russell Crowe, New Zealand or Australia. All right, I'm looking this up and I'm going to feel stupid. LA Confidential. Yeah, he also did The Insider prior to this, but I don't think big hit or nothing, but... All right, we start off with a modest arena. It's like pro wrestling. You work your way up through the indies, and then you get to go to Madison Square Garden. And could you really feel much of a kindred spirit brotherhood for these guys that you're also trying to kill? I mean, I would think even from a business perspective, you can't keep these guys around that long unless you're just feeding them jobbers, right? So once you, as a guy who's basically at the head of this WWE Performance Center troupe, wouldn't you rather have non-fatal injuries? You know, you got to keep that work rate up. You don't just want it to be like one-sided easy victory, people boo. You know, just have veterans doing their thing, living to fight the next day. I mean, that'd be the good money approach, wouldn't it? Which makes you think, kind of question our understanding of the gladiatorial events. Like maybe it was more so prisoners, death row, going out to fight. POWs of the such, conquered people. They do try to use this for a theatrical element also. Like, here's the story of how the Romans took down the Carthaginians, and you know, we have the black gal out there who I think dies horribly, gets cut in half. Oh, we peeing ourselves. He's like, these are not the men I'm used to. And how fair is it that some of these guys get massive amounts of armor? Now, for this bit, I think they did actually construct this arena. And of course, we get to like the Coliseum later. We had to use some digital trickery. Modern crap movie would have had CGI spectators. You're weighing me down, I'll cut the hand off. Oh, and mind you, by 2000, they can make some incredibly realistic dummies to do horrible things to. And wouldn't it also be kind of more interesting if maybe this guy's troop fights another guy's troop? My guys beat your guys. Really, it feels like this guy, Ralph here, is doing most of the work this first fight. Clothesline. See, it is wrestling. Now do the tombstone pile driver. 1, 2, 3. Oh, do we have a Michael Bay shot in a highly rewarded Oscar-winning film? Why, I think we do. CGI cities. Okay. It doesn't look realistic, but it could look worse. Let's give him that. I don't think these people are cheering him on. And we have the senators who think that they were supposed to see a republic, and only to learn they don't get to. Don't give him any more time. He ends up being a crap leader. Oh man, how would you like to come home and have to walk up that many stairs? It sucks. Falco, don't turn around. Uh-oh. Yeah, just going to hang out with the senators for a bit. It looks like we may as well be in a bathhouse. Thankfully, they never show you the public bathroom experience of Rome in this movie, which I hope actually had wooden housing around it. Not just some take a crap out in the open scenario. Ooh, you're getting a little sassy with the Emperor. He doesn't like that. Man, don't you kind of wonder if the woman would be even be like allowed in this scenario? Who the hell are you? You're just the Emperor's sister. Get out of here. Here we go with more lectures, guys. I'm sorry. I don't remember there being that much in the way of lectures in this movie. He's got his bling. That's good. Are we to assume that doesn't look like him on the coin on his chest, the medallion? I think probably that's Dad. She doesn't do the best job steering him to being a good leader. But then again, he's so belligerent it wouldn't make a difference. Give the people a great vision by doing what? Oh, look at that. We made a model. Before there were toy trains to run in the basement, there was your own Coliseum. So the plan to get people on my side is to entertain them with gladiators. Well, it doesn't look too bad. Aerial shot doesn't look too bad. Gladiators, I'm assuming the bottom word means violent. Come get your violence. Violence over here. $150 days of games. That's a lot of murdering. May have a point though. Your leaders now have to keep you entertained. We've essentially replaced religion with entertainment. Bring them death and they'll love them for it. If that's what it takes to win the people over. These kids are like, someday I want to be a captured slave, become a gladiator. It didn't take them too long to warm up to the idea that Russell Crowe's going to be in charge. And now he's like, now we're going to do this like in the army, guys. You're going to all get in a row, and I'm going to lead you into battle. Cool shot right there. That's what I need to use for the thumbnail with the roses coming down. Has word not gotten out yet that this is not some ordinary dude? Oh, he's just the best gladiator. That's what we're just going to say. That's it. All right, Spaniard, tell us who you really are. No, he waits till he gets to the Coliseum. Clank. The guy must have really made him mad. Oh, that could be super dangerous. Are you not entertained? The other iconic line of this film. Consider the "Are you not entertained" for the YouTube thumbnail. And they are entertained. I don't think he necessarily intended for them to cheer him on after that, after scolding them. What do you want, a girl? A boy? I'll have him come to you. Hyena. It was that previous just emperor who closed us down, tried to install a moral code. That's why we're fighting on the outskirts. But now we get to return to the Coliseum where we should be. Seating for 50,000 and not a single cushion. See, he was a gladiator. I'm telling you, if we could have saw young Commodus, young Maximus see this guy win his freedom early in the film, I'm improving the movie. It's what I do, guys. See, I got this wooden sword. It was awarded me with my freedom from the Emperor. All this. Emperor touched me on the shoulder and freed me. You knew the Emperor? Ha. I was the best because the crowd loved me. Say, if you're Goldberg and you just smash guys, the crowd doesn't love you that much in the long term. Stone Cold, longer show. Crowd loves him. Of course, it also helps that his company is the one that becomes prominent. You know, you could kind of see a scenario here where WCW buys WWF and then buries them. Got a special corset armor that I don't know what we call those. Must have been the one I used to use, but I'm fat now. These guys kind of look like they could run off and escape if they were so inclined. Djimon Hounsou, you say you'll die soon, but you're going to be walking out of this movie. And when you say waiting for you, I think I catch your drift, stranger. Yeah, Djimon Hounsou, pretty steady work ever since Amistad. We're coming to Rome. Oh, look, vegetation. Oh, that looks pretty authentic. Yeah, a lot of this touches up pretty good. You know, not wildly bad. Computer extended cityscape of sorts, right? I think there are definitely some times where it is sus. What? Proper living quarters? Now, around the time this movie came out, I did have a shorter haircut with a beard type thing going, looking a little Russell Crowe-esque. Just letting you know. CGI birds. All right, I'll win the crowd. Sure. Joaquin Phoenix, most famous person with the cleft palate. A little creepy leering over the boy like this. I say a little creepy. It's very creepy. Oh, Connie, there's always some big guy. Well, big. There's always some guy leering over your kid, isn't there? Like in Soldier. What are we putting in that water? I think she just made Tylenol. She should be poisoning him. Are the people ready for there not to be a Senate? Well, so long as I keep them happy with the games, right? Is this scene at night? Because, like, where are these light sources? It's dark in this place, anyhow. I didn't want a kiss on the head. Busy marketplace. What's he gonna do? He's a broke slave gladiator. What's he gonna offer you, gal? You want some money, but you ain't getting any. Hey, I'll take it over the I don't know, whatever Coliseum they were fighting in at the end of Attack of the Clones, right? Maybe I should do my eyebrows like that, where they're like pointy rocket ships. Give me more authority on my YouTube videos. But that wig totally completes the look, yeah. Oh man, we still got a lot of movie ahead of us. Come here, slave gladiator. Okay, now I'm confused. Where did he get these horses applied to the arm? Because he wasn't captured with his armor. That told his story, you know? I know this boy. I knew he must have been important. He was wearing purple. Purple is a sign of wealth. Gotta step back. Commodus asshat must be watching. Now, it is true, or as best I understand, that they actually did have these kind of like understage pulley systems. You know, I think the movie gets a lot of credit for showing you a vision of Rome that you hadn't seen before. Of the time, you got, you know, a big budget treatment to this. You may not have that same effect with things to now. We're like, oh wow, it's a movie that looks just like the 80s. Like, is that too impressive? Another movie that looks like Rome or Greece or King Arthur. All right, here we go. We're gladiating. No one else's armor gets to tell a story. This 360 shot, lots of CGI additions done. I think the first row is a stadium they built. Now, this is not near to the size of the Colosseum, but they had to build some of this and get people in there. And for the most part, it's fairly seamless. The relationship between the people in the crowd and those fighting. Yeah, see, you can clearly see this is not... It's not massive. This isn't big enough. They won't show the whole arena, the floor plan for it. Fair dinkum, as the Australians say, legit. Because clearly this wouldn't be big enough for the horse race or whatever else could be happening here. So you get kind of like this quarter shot of the ground. But I mean, it's enough that it's pretty impressive. Here, I gotta tell a historical story. And what happens if the gladiators don't tell the same story? Like, okay, so they're supposed to lose to these guys, but they didn't. Then what do we do? It's kind of like the wrestling is always a shoot. Uh-oh, barbarian horde. Sounds scary. Here we go. Unleash hell. Maybe I should use this as the thumbnail. Sounding rather Australian. Actually, does he say unleash hell during the gladiator portion of this movie? Uh-oh. Chariots look dangerous. Oh, man, I can't believe they got a woman involved. Oh, she'll meet a horrendous end. Really? You're just now getting down to watching this? They're your gladiators. You should be sitting there with anticipation. Or do you have to run off to the latrine, public toilet, whatever we call it? Maybe they're just called aqueduct. Very tight shots, pretty damn frantic. But you have an idea of what's happening. Diamond, I guess that means flip the horse over. Ooh, and the calf. Ah, cut in half. Movie is pretty damn graphic with the violence. If you got any more graphic, it would possibly hinder the tone and seem cartoonish. I mean, it just kind of tends to go that way now, especially with violence. Maybe at the time you could do it. But nowadays, if you get the bloodier you get, the more you're trying to lean towards, oh, hey, it's a satire comedy thing. The Spaniards' men are kicking ass. This was not in the script. Oh, yeah, the catch of the sword. I mean, there's some nice moments here. Oh, and also his pantomiming, like, ooh, so fancy. Single column. Oh, man, did her head retain? Kind of looks like we might have whacked twice at same person. Oof. I bet they thought they were going to win today. I wonder how proficient of a writer Russell Crowe had been prior to this movie. Yes, sir. They're supposed to. Oh, you'll recognize him right quick. You'll recognize the Spaniard. Did you have to meet him? As you're setting everything in motion, you could just kept him being a gladiator, see if he died or not. But now you're letting the cat out of the bag. I don't know how authentic most of this armor is to the period. So much black and leather. I mean, the stuff wouldn't really last. So what we largely see is the metal, the bronze work, copper, things like that. And was Rome before they had steel? Oh, he's going to consider offering him right here. Take this arrow. But the kid got in the way. Now I can't do it. And boy, does that helmet does not look metal. Up close, it looks painted. It looks like almost like a plastic prop that's been painted, aged up in a fashion. Which I'm assuming would be far more comfortable than if it were metal. My name's Gladiator. Turn your back. I have a habit of turning my back on this scumbag. Oh, you want my name, huh? Here goes. Trailer moment. The true emperor, he says. Ooh. Somewhat astonishing you don't have this guy put down right now. Well, we're considering it, though. But because the crowd booed, it's the fan interaction here that plays a pivotal role. And let me ask, what if the crowd is mad? What if their vote of live doesn't matter and they say die? And there is dispute if thumbs up is good or bad. No, thumbs up actually means let him die. I don't know. Either way, he plays to the crowd. But suppose he didn't. What difference would it make? I mean, okay, he kills him and now he gets to stay emperor. Are they going to revolt? I guess if you want to be a popular ruler, you got to do it, right? The fans go wild. Most of these guys are just happy to have survived that skirmish. A great many togas were made. It's just like the army. See how everybody's like gathered on the sides here as I walk by and they're chanting my name? I am dropping so much popcorn on myself. I'm sorry. What do you mean, why is he still alive? It wasn't her orders to kill him. What'd you feel when you saw him? What's he expect to say here? I was surprised. Let's leave it at that. how exactly did they lie to you about this? I noticed that those guys I told to kill him, they died. So, what happened here? I mean, I guess he was never informed that. Sir, seems he escaped and he killed a lot of guys. They're supposed to kill him. All right. Well, I know the Emperor's going to have a hissy fit, so let's just tell him we killed him. You know, we could have had an interesting dynamic here if we saw the gladiator conquering various lands while he's the general. And then the people of those lands are the ones who have to fight with him, set aside their differences to become good gladiator squads. That would have been interesting, but it really isn't present here. I mean, could we imply that he took on Carthaginians? The big guy, is he said to be German in the movie? The actor's German, but I don't know. All right, so he's hoping. I guess that she'll get the word out, and maybe they can take back the throne. It's not going to end well for the Senate, if I recall correctly. Can you be a slave? Like, as soon as it's revealed to the public that you're actually a general with it, shouldn't they be like, hey, shouldn't he be a general right now? Like, why is he a gladiator? I don't think you get the fire lit scene quite as good in movies anymore these days. Well, are we going to try to make a love story out of this? I mean, we're both single now. Guards, take her away. Oh, playing with a cobra. I actually had a snake in my lawn today. I had to walk. You have to walk a ways to pick up the males at the end of the street. Come back. There's a snake on my patio. Here we go. In Germania, many countries, yeah. But it's not about the characters setting aside their differences to work together as this in this newfound life as a gladiator. There is concern he might be poisoned. Here, you chicken, I'll eat it. This guy, he's like 6'6". He's a big dude. Djimon Hounsou's 6'4". How fast does poison act? Like, in movies, it seems so quick, right? You have a great name, you must kill your name before he kills you. That's kind of the way things work now, isn't it? Destroy someone's reputation. Yeah, the other senators came, so I thought, I've got club seats. I swear this guy looks like the male version of Dame Judi Dench. Like, it's eerie. $64 days. Oh, there's that Cicero guy. Cicero, but we're zooming in on him. Man, his face is really torn up. It's distinctive, though, but if he gets in talk with Spaniard, who knows what'll happen, right? Tigress of Gaul. I told you there'd be an Arnold Schwarzenegger connection. Enter Sven Thorson. He's in several Arnold movies. I believe he's a cop in Mallrats. Hold on. We'll continue this conversation when I get back. I got to go murder up this guy. All right, we're also going to get a call back to our foot fetish moment. Though maybe it's the opposite of a foot fetish if it is about cutting into the foot. Or maybe that's what some of those people like. She's lying and reassuring him. It's been arranged, huh? Does it need to be? He's fighting the undefeated champion, probably the heavy favorite here. Does this need to be arranged? I mean, you have him fight enough people, eventually lose, right? Or enough overwhelming odds. You don't even need to make it a fair fight. This guy's name is Sven Thorson, isn't it? I mean, I got to look this up. I think this helmet, it's a very cool looking helmet, by the way. I got to consider that for the thumbnail. It was the trailer shot. It had that awesome visor pull down action about it. Here's some of those arrangements. Let's bring in a tiger. And the tiger moves funny. People say, oh, the CGI tiger was so fake. I don't think that's it. I think it is more a product of messing with the frames, the frame rate. And it's not, I don't think it's a CGI tiger so much as a composite. The tiger is added to the scene. Yeah, see, I mean, really, it looks fine in relation to the rest of the action. Of course, they don't know who the tiger is going to attack, so is it that arranged again? You know, we got really good sound effects in this movie, like on the whole. Because, like, I've seen a lot of things lately. You look at like 80s, early 90s, it'll be like a fine movie, and then there'll be that cartoonish celery snap and punch sound, right? Listen to the cling, cling, ching, ching. Yeah, good sound effects editing. Tiger is going down. What do you say about that, PETA? Here we go with the... Oh, this is going to hurt. Oh, it's an axe into the toes. Bleeding out the mouth, but he spares the guy. And that wins him even more favor with the crowd. And, oh man, kicks this guy down and it flips the visor up. Sven Ol Thorson. I was mostly right. As usual. He's going to disobey the crowd, but it wins them over even further. John Malkovich is not pleased. I think this is my longest commentary yet. Close to it. Oh, hell, because he said kill him, I'm not going to do it. I'll win you some favor with the senators. I immediately decree he is Maximus the Merciful. What are those guys holding on to? The tiger died, right? Wasn't there only one tiger? Oh, wait. So, I'm sorry. There were several tigers. I just, like, you don't really get the sense that there were that many of them. Okay, why do we have to bring these guys out? Connie does not wear the same dress twice. Are we so different, you and I? Said in a lot of movies. Always by a villain. No one knows what they're saying because we don't have megaphones. We don't have microphones. We don't have a PA system. Acoustics are not good in the Coliseum. Oh, them's fighting words. Well, you could be making this up. I mean, I just saw them kind of burned and hanged. I don't know for certain. Does he need to be cordial? Judi Dench is like, this could be an ally. We'll have to get Bond on it. Not a competent Bond like Pierce Brosnan, but like a fumbling idiot like Daniel Craig. General, it's me. Camped. How many soldiers? Here, I'm going to stand by the whore. What do you give him here? Forgot. Did this come up earlier in the movie? Trinket of his family. That I remember that like Djimon Hounsou buries it at the end in the Colosseum. Would have been more poignant if we had a relationship with these characters, but all they did was die on introduction. This guy Falco, he's a senator, right? But he kind of wants to play towards the Emperor's side. Connie's like, I hear men plotting. Got to walk over here. Man, by and large, this is a much better looking movie than the garbage we get today with computers, isn't it? I miss the look of things shot on film and not overly manipulated by computers in post. So can the army free him, or does he just need to tell Proximo, like, hey, all right, you know the jig's up, right? And I'm a general, so maybe I should go. And I should think that the sideshow over here, having a go at the Emperor, probably a speedy way to get yourself killed. Insist on getting her attention. Pass her a note. I don't know if he can meter politicians. Like, he's a slave, right? You have say where he gets to go after hours? Senator Judi Dench. Maximus will speak with you. I mean, everybody says I can trust you. You're the head of MI6. The army shouldn't be loyal to Commodus. That's some nonsense, lady. He wants to restore the Senate. Come on, that's what you wanted, isn't it? Help him out. The last wish of a dying man. Yeah, we know the truth. All right, so we have a plan in motion. All right, how are we going to screw this up? Stay alive for 2 days. We'll get you out of here. The banking system, very finicky. I have to go get a loan. Buy your freedom. You know, you have to go to the court system to do that. He has a point. Commodus makes him rich. Putting the games back together in the big stage. Either way, he's going to allow it for the hell of it, whatever. Oh, now you're telling me that he killed the guy that freed me? Now I'm upset. Okay. Oh, we've got to question the intentions of Judi Dench here, keeping this kind of squirrely man ladyboy assistant nearby. That's some implications there. I'm having the Senate rounded up. Oh, Morticia lighting. Does he need to be dressed up for combat right now? Is it a little extra, as they say? I'll just make some threats over here, and she should have been finding a woman for him, is what she should have been doing. Oh, making more moves. Oh. Unnerving. Yes, audience, this is supposed to be brother and sister characters. Open your mouth. Remember, I watch over your son when he's asleep. Creepy much. Oh yeah, it's an unsettling situation to find oneself in. And now I think we're about to see Oliver Reed kind of added to a scene, sort of. I think you'll see here, like it looks a little CGI'd, if I recall here. It's like outside in the dark, something's off with it. Or maybe it's going to be a little later, but there's going to be like a raid on their little barracks. I think that guy's going to get hung in a tree, hanged in a tree. I think, okay, Oliver Reed, Proximo, he's going to get stabbed, right? But the Cicero guy who's going to try to make these arrangements, I think, he doesn't live to see the end of the movie. It's all because your father chose me. Too bad we didn't see them as children, with Maximus being favored by Marcus Aurelius. I wonder if can you ask ChatGPT to write you an original Oscar-winning screenplay and just see what it does. Give it some parameters. There has to be gladiators. Not the first movie to be called Gladiator. I think in 1990 there was a Gladiator boxing film starring Cuba Gooding Jr. I think it was 1990. Maybe 92. One of those two for some reason is ringing a bell. I am out of popcorn, but I still got me plenty of root beer. Why is he saying there when he swings? Come on now. Uh-oh. You admire the Spaniard Gladiator, huh? You shouldn't be doing that. Savior of Rome. Oh, that didn't rub well with me. Oh, who told you he's the savior of Rome? Not on my watch. Now he tells like the fall of like Cleopatra over here. Which, when did that go down? About 30 BC maybe, so... And yeah, here he goes making the, the thinly veiled threat that'll kind of convince Empress of Emperor's sister Connie here to kind of stick with him instead of siding with Maximus. I would wager that, like, okay, obviously, Russell Crowe has put on some pounds since this movie, but I think Joaquin Phoenix has lost weight since this movie. At least when he wants to play Joker. The boy's like, I don't think this story is about Cleopatra anymore. Uh-oh, time to put the kibosh on that uprising, huh? Now, I think here we will see a night sequence of like Proximo freeing his gladiators, and there's something wonky about it. And I remember this from years back, so I'm assuming it will still look wonky today. All right, I got my action figures ready to go. Come on, what is all this rack? You guys really expecting me to be awake at these hours? Here it is, yep. See how he's like in green screen? I think that was repurposed footage right there. Outtakes, something else. Man, he's really got them fighting as a team. Yeah, I think Big German takes some arrows. Kind of, if I remember right here, he's kind of a magnet for the arrows, really. Now, they do have some kind of, I don't know, sewers sort of stuff you could kind of possibly go through in Rome, so there's that possibility. Now, why would they need to kill this guy? He's not helping. He's sending this guy out there to die each day, but yet he's aiding and abetting, you'd think. Yep, here we go. Arrows for the German. And some stabbing. That is a very bright night right there, isn't it? Oh no, the horse ran off. And for good measure, we've got arrows. The angle of which those guys were on that bridge, I don't think they could have hit with those arrows the way they did. And it does seem very difficult to believe that the Emperor would then invite himself into a scenario to fight the Gladiator. But, you know, if he stacks a deck, has him stabbed pre-fight, and is pretty certain he can win, maybe it would happen. You know, if that would be what it would take to get him to win over the crowd, to be more favored than the Gladiator. You do anything at all, I'm going to kill your son. You got that? And you're going to give me a new son. You got that? Yep, incest. We're talking about it. It doesn't happen so much. It's been strongly hinted at. you're denying me a kiss again? How many more threats can I make, woman? I don't think anyone quotes the "Am I not merciful?" But, I mean, you could. All right, so we're coming up with a rigged fight here. Oh, Judi Dench's still alive. I thought he died. I thought I remember him getting killed. Yeah, they call for me, not you. I guess I got top billing. How does it end? Oh, okay. He's thinking, yeah, I'm game for that. And it's like, oh, not so fast. Well, I thought it's Maximus the Merciful. Oh, stab. All right, I'm going to soften him up a little bit and get this fight on. What comes of John Malkovich here? You know, not John Malkovich, if we're being honest. How fatal is that wound, though? I mean, you need him kind of walking around at least for this fight, right? Or hell, couldn't he take the armor off himself to show that he was stabbed beforehand, ruining the whole spectacle, the whole charade? I mean, I'm just saying he could, I guess. I mean, these are options. Would you have thought of doing that yourself in the middle of the fight? Or, I mean, obviously before the fight even gets underway. Oh, you betrayed me. Oh, you're going to make me go hunt for my sword here? I can't. Yeah, because you hand it to him, you're going to stab me right here. You can see he doesn't seem to be at full strength. Now, how good is the average sword fighter? Like, is this a sort of thing where it's like everybody needs to have some proficiency with a sword? We saw that Commodus had some training he was trying to show off after the battle. We're getting a little too fancy with our frame, our speed. Oh, he dropped the sword. What are we gonna do? Has he lost too much blood? Oh, no, I realize I made the mistake. I shouldn't interfere. I shouldn't have betrayed Maximus. Why would they listen to this guy over the Emperor? Kind of silly hallucination time here. There's a door. I need to try to open. Okay, you know how I was saying the sound effects were good? Yeah, some of those were a little questionable. Some of those punches. I'm just saying. Ah, the old stab yourself with a knife trick. Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix definitely weighs less these days. And Russell Crowe, recent film, The Pope's Exorcist, right? I mean, he's not in like straight to video purgatory, but he isn't really smashing things as a, he's not opening a film and blowing the doors off. All right, well, the important thing is I lived long enough to do this part. Only hit he got on me the whole time was pre-fight. So you guys are kind of wondering why I'm walking around funny. Open the door. And the coloring in that, this sort of dream area here, it's so desaturated. I feel like this had an inspiration on Sin City in some way, which, okay, I say Sin City, but wait, did Sin City come before? Sin City came before, what am I trying to say here? No. A little like 300, Zack Snyder he uses a lot of that highly stylized desaturation. Sin City, of course, inspired by black and white comic when it black and white, but yeah. You can see how there's like selective coloring here in this Elysium dream state afterlife. No. Why the concern over the boy? Lucius is safe. Okay, yeah. And I guess the Senate will take over and then Rome will still fall apart. Oh, hey, at least he got to reunite with the family he never spent any time with for the whole film. Can't even tell you who plays his wife or his kid. I mean, like, I don't think they did a lot in cinema thereafter. I could be mistaken. Several gladiators survived. Interesting. It's kind of like the only one that died during their fight was the big German. Does this guy have the nobility here to actually allow the Senate to prosper and not be like, okay, well, I guess I'm the new emperor? And that kind of treacherous Senator Falco, nothing bad seemed to happen of him. Now, I suppose he could lose re-election, right? If they have elections. Or is it a position you hold for life? Oh yeah, just under the surface here. Red dirt, I'm sure. Yeah. Shouldn't you also carve a Maximus figurine to put with them in the ground? I don't know what good that did anybody. But not yet. That's your sequel bait ending, guys. Not yet. Sequel bait ending. Djimon Hounsou returns to Carthage and takes over. Again, pretty competent looking CGI Coliseum there. Got to give him that. And the halcyon days of dramatic music playing over the end credits and not, putting your asinine, stylized up, heavy effects heavy title sequence at the end of the movie. And I think that will do it for our viewing of Gladiator. What'd you guys think about this one? No, honestly, I went into this, hadn't seen it in ages, thinking that it was a bit overrated. Now, compared to the crap we get today, I'm actually appreciating it more. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, adios.